Hello, this is Tesla's Radiant Energy 5, maybe the last one about it. After 4 videos which we made before, we could say, we could make definition about radiant energy. Radiant energy is leakage of energy from the system, from the space which we observe or which we measure. If you back to mostly used radiant energy generator, some kind of coil which oscillate at high frequency by self-oscillating. It charge ions in the air around and move them, make oscillation of them. This oscillation, if it is so high frequency, low amplitude but so high frequency, it bombard solid material around and produce heat. It is a lower frequency, it will be less heat. We could collect this radiant energy with some antennas or any other method to some capacitor or the battery and use forward. In every energy conversion, when we have energy input, there always be few energy outputs. There is no just one energy output. So it could be the light, the heat, any chemical reaction, whatever. So by increasing, like I said, by increasing the frequency, decrease amplitude for the same energy input, and this smaller amplitude but high frequency produce heat. Also I spoke about hydrogen activity, many levels which is known to chemistry, electrochemistry as well, that more over voltage on cathode by material which we used produce more activity of hydrogen. Also active hydrogen can be made, if you produce, by high voltage discharge in hydrogen ambient. So this hydrogen produce can make some chemical reaction which hydrogen from the bottle which cannot do. So someone asked me to explain a little better how energy are joined with hydrogen. So in previous video we said on the left side hydrogen penetrates in the crystal structure of electrode. On the right side it's almost repel, it's going to most solid. To understand it, make analogy, imagine that this sponge is analogy of platinum, and this iron bar is analogy of zinc or lead. So if it is this tuning fork, because hydrogen, every matter has its own oscillation, so atom of hydrogen or hydrogen ion has its own oscillation. So but this oscillation amplitude is relatively small. So if you imagine that it is our ion of hydrogen and it is the platinum, when hit we can hear oscillation, but amplitude is too small. But if we hit the solid material, the oscillation is much higher. and amplitude is much higher, but it is damped oscillation. So which will finish on the end. So when ion hit collide with cathode, the radiant there is a standing wave which on the right angle will propagate. So this is leakage which will hit another ion or another particle and make oscillation of this. It is the so instead to go like this, we can go inside in atomic level in electrolyzer or the battery. So which means every discharge cathode gives electron to hydrogen ion in solution. So when collision happened, also radiation happened which leak forward, but like X-rays, but is has no energy like X-rays and do not go beyond the wall of devices. It's happened on atomic level. Until now there wasn't consensus how energy is joined to the hydrogen, but the fact that it is joined. I'm suggesting to you that this amplitude by collision, because which means that from energy input not will all transform into here is hydrogen and oxygen and heat, but there is a leakage which is radiant energy. So if we use platinum or gold or silver, ion will penetrate like in soft material, and there will not be the waves of radiant energy. If you use lead or zinc or mercury, it will repel and produce this effect. But we need more voltage, because we have more voltage input to split the solution. By using this electrode, we applied more force. So if we want to get the same result with ironed cathode, then we need to make discharge, sharp discharge like this one, like I described. This one will produce higher activity of hydrogen. This amount of current will produce activity of hydrogen like it produced by platinum or gold electrode. So brown gas, which has much different properties than ordinary hydrogen oxygen mixture, it's rather implode than explode, and many other properties of flame for doing welding or cutting by torch. So it's confirmation of this theory. But we have the same process in the battery, in every single battery, but now I will describe a standard lead acid battery. So when we already have lead like for electrode, and have this process, but also we have this process of vibration of ions when we discharge the lead. Why? Because when we discharge, then what was anode during charging, now it's cathode. So we have on the cathode, when we're discharging, which was previous anode, we have this process, hydrogen with higher activity. If we are discharged with that kind of pulses, we have more hydrogen activity. Active hydrogen react with lead directly on room temperature and produce lead hydrate, which is very unstable gas. It is the gas. It is very unstable, but it appears during discharging and discharging. We can use this effect for smart discharging or smart charging of the batteries, not like mostly chargers is doing. Let's say if we discharge the battery and it will lose the voltage and lose the capacity. Then when we turn off the load in this point, the battery because there is a active hydrogen reaction with other compounds inside, it will recover itself, and even it will increase for a while the capacity. If you start this discharging with, let's say, 60% of capacity in the battery, after discharge, let's say that we discharge 30 minutes, it could happen that we'll get for a while, let's say, 65% of capacity, and it will, by the time itself, it will go down to, let's say, 57 and so on. So when we discharge, when we stop discharging here, it is not good that we start charging here or here. It's the best to wait for a while. It could be, let's say, 10 minutes. It depends. You must try alone. Let's say that it's 10 minutes. So when it reaches the maximum of recovering, so it is the moment for charging the battery now. So which means if we combine on that way, discharging, charging, discharging, during whole process of charging, we can put less energy in the battery to get the best capacity of it. Why? Because what makes capacity of the battery? It is the size of the electrode, the distance, the type of electrolyte, the type of electrodes. So it makes the capacity. If you change the chemistry, if you for the same distance, size, and so on, and you change the chemistry of this layer around the cathode, you will change the capacity. So which means if you discharge on standard way, we have one chemistry on the cathode layer. If we discharge on this way, which and produce more active hydrogen, we will change the chemistry and we will change the capacity. So that's why it's happened that if you discharge on smart way, that for a while more capacity, because the structure around the cathode is changed, and this energy comes from atomic level. It's changed and we have more capacity than it was on the start. The same we can use for electrolyzer. not to discharge electrolyzer because the hydrogen is goal. By using material for cathode, let's say lead or zinc, but in that case you need to choose right electrolyte which will not react with zinc or lead and produce more active gas, which will have each different properties and will find his own application in technique. That's all. Thank you for watching this video.